All protocol observed. I welcome you to our home. Thank you for showering with love and solidarity in this trying moment. I thank God for being an ever-present help in the hour of need. He has been our rock and our anchor. My prayer is that we hold on to Him as we start this new phase of life. He remains God, working in all things together for our good. I want to thank the government of Uganda, led by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the UPDF fraternity for all the support we have received in this season. We are grateful. I thank the medical teams of Murago and Nairobi hospitals led by Dr. Mading and Professor Rure respectively. They went above and beyond in ensuring that A got the best treatment. I would like to appreciate the team from the Ugandan Embassy in Kenya who rendered their support to us throughout our stay in Nairobi. I also thank Enos and Connie Tumsime for coming alongside us and walking this journey with us. It was not an easy one. Enos stood by his brother from the time he was admitted in hospital till the end. There are no words to express our gratitude. May God richly bless you and your family. A very special thanks to you, to Madam Sakina Juma, who was a godsend to us every step of the way while in Nairobi. May God abundantly bless you. I thank my children for taking care of their father from the time he started feeling unwell to the time we went to hospital. He was showed so much love. All worked as a team and a support system to me and each other. Special thanks to Daudi and Brenda Chitumna for coming there with the Nairobi team. I thank the teams of prayer warriors who interceded for ELLY. We felt the love, support of people from all walks of life. I would like in a special way to thank the Greater Kampala Revival Fellowship for keeping the fire on the altar burning. We opened our home to Kampala Revival Fellowship, which passed the Right TV, which is currently streaming on YouTube. I also thank everyone who called us, sent us messages. We were overwhelmed with the show of love from each and every one of you. We are eternally grateful. I would like to appreciate those who traveled to Nairobi to see us. They were a source of great encouragement, love and support. Honorable Senide and Colonel Grace Chomugisha, his business partners, Dora Chibende, Mariam Gamba, and Jerry Sabuni, my cousins, I will forever be grateful. Jerry Sabuni, my cousin, was my matron when Jerry Twatsagara Twink. Ninyenda kwebaza siblings ba ELLY abakuzaabwa nabo omukyala Erna Mushutesi niwe munyanyi mukuru, omukyala Jane Rurekera mukazi n'ow'Ishento nibo batsigaire aha na Kasiro bakaguma n'abaana bagumira aha. Nimbebaza omurimo muhango gumukozire. I would like to thank our in-laws, Honorable Wakosho's family, the Kawamara family, the Muheiro family, the Mawati family, for giving us wonderful children who have been an invaluable addition to the family. Elly loved God. Elly loved his country. Elly loved the UPDF. Elly loved his family and humanity as a whole. His love never wavered for all this. He undertook tasks in different offices, he said, with passion, diligence, consistency, and integrity. He was a person who always stood for truth and fairness at whatever cost. Whether in office or out of it, he remained loyal and true to his values and the values of the revolution. He used to tell us about 3 things they wished for when they were in the Liberation War. 1, for the war to end in victory. 2, to be among the lucky ones to see the victory. 3, for God to give them a family and children. God granted them. God granted him all the 3. We were blessed with children and even grandchildren. What a blessing. He loved art and fashion, music and nature. He was able to pursue these passions alongside his official duties. He always said, do what you love what you do it to the best, and let God do the rest. And he did exactly that. I was blessed to have him as my husband and the father of our children. We are proud of the great legacy he has left behind, which will never be erased. In the 35 years God gave us, I saw him grow in his walk with Christ. He was very bold in testifying about what God has done in his life and had committed to be an evangelist in his latter years. He had the conviction that what would liberate humanity was having a personal relationship with Christ, which would transform the individual, the family unit, the nation, and the world at large. Whenever he got an opportunity to speak, be it at a wedding, funeral, or any other gathering, he would boldly share the gospel. He would say that for him, he was ready to die and would challenge anyone to get prepared. He would add that death should be a celebration of a life well lived. He looked after so many children, put them through school all the way to university. We have PhD, masters, degree holders in all your career paths. I would like to ask all who had gone through our home to stand up. But it's already dark, I don't see people were able to see you. But these are just a sample of many children he took care of. I don't know whether Namkwaya is around. That is our PhD holder from Australia. Is Namkwaya around? You can come. And he is now the President Advisor on Agriculture. He was intentional in befriending his children. All children truly experience their father's love, care, guidance, and provision. He always made time for them despite his busy schedules. He had a big and a generous heart. This is our PH holder, Dr. Betty Namkwaya. We raised him when he came to our home. He was in P4. When she came to our home, she was in P4. And now she's an MPG. He's a doctor. He's a presidential advisor in agriculture. He had a big and a generous heart. He loved cows. They were his prized possession. And that was the gift he would give to his relatives, friends, and newlyweds, graduates, to mention but a few. In his period of sickness, as we interceded through the passage of Hezekiah, we were reminded that God had already added more than 15 years to his long life, long ago. Through the death-near experiences he encountered in his life, struck by lightning, bitten by a snake, shot in the head, but he survived through it all. I can confidently say he lived a fruitful, happy, and fulfilling life. He always told us he was grateful to God for granting him all he desired and wished for in his life. I would like to thank God for the life of my amazing husband, Elly. He was a unique and a very rare human being who did things in his own way. He shared a fulfilling life together with its ups and downs, but God kept us on course. Here we are at the end of our vows, till death do us part. We will always be grateful to God for giving him to us, and we will miss him deeply. I call upon all our children to be firm in the Lord, stay united, keep his legacy of love. Rest with angels, my beloved Elly. I'm sure we will meet again. Thank you all once again for coming to be with us during this difficult time. God bless you.
And this is the son's eulogy about his father. "35 years of training, now the work begins. I'm 35 years old. I've been trained by the best commander. Now the work begins." Ooh, okay. My speech, or my eulogy, I'm going to speak English. Nizagambo jungaha, then I'm going to Gamunga. So that we have the benefit of knowing what my father was to me and what he was to everyone. Who he was. Elia Tumwine. There was none like him, and there will never be any like him. And that was his belief, that everyone was unique, that everyone was special, that because everyone was different, that's what made them special. He was God's child, firm believer. He was a general of the NRA, UPDF. He was a husband of one, Jolie's husband. He was the father of many, both literally and figuratively. The brother to rely and count on, an anchor to his siblings, a friend in every time of need, an artist and designer, a teacher of many subjects, a farmer with a deep love for the Ankole Longhorn, a lover of music and a creator of sound. A patron of many associations and clubs. A man of culture, especially the Ankole culture. A student of nature and God's design. A very practical man. Philosopher and avid reader, and until recently a very avid YouTube watcher. He was unoriginal. There will never be any like him. What he taught. It's never too late to start doing the right thing. What's down versus what's up. Echibuka wagulu, tega wansi. Use your intellect to help people on the ground. No one knows everything, and no one knows nothing. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. If you want to run very fast, run alone. But if you want to go very far, run with others. The future belongs to the organized, and the better future to the better organized. Spend time on the most important aspects of life, especially time with others, rather than being ruled by clocks or watches. People have lost time for others and for enjoying the wealth they have. The fresh air, the sunshine. People have lost time for this. Now, what the last 2 weeks were of his life for me. Oof.
Oh, Musai, Gunasisa, Neva Sanyo, oh, Murokozi.
Many have spoken of his past. Many have spoken of his present. I will speak of the last 2 weeks of his life. Our last 14 days with him were a furnace, a true furnace, where I, Mami, and Brenda, and those who joined us later, Edna, Shiba, Cynthia, were tested to our cause. We had never gone through any training like this. I had read of the US Navy SEALs, considered by many as one of the most elite soldiers in the world. They have 5.5 days of intense training, also known as Hell Week. It is the hardest and most grueling week in their training. In the few or many years of my life, these 14 days were that for me, and I was not a Navy SEAL. To see your father look at you, to see your father look at you and tell you the words you fear the most. Not with his mouth, but with his eyes, and in Daddy's case, with that one eye, is one of the hardest things I have experienced. To come day after day and see that look, that face that carried a smile and hearty laughter, be the same face that told you his last words and love, all wrapped in one, was truly a tough one. But we had helped. And it carried us through. Who was this help, you wonder? It was not a man, no medicine, no intellect. None of that, nothing. It was the one and only Almighty God. He used men, medicine, and intellect, as well as time, to show us who is truly in charge. Even to the end, he did not forsake us. Even to this very moment, he has not forsaken us. We had our own motto during this time. It was something we learned during one of our many morning devotionals. God is with us and God is working. My observations and conclusions. 1. In the end, all roads lead to God. No matter who you are or what you do, it begins and ends with Him. 2. Family is God's first choice for the people you should think with, plan with, and do most of the things in this world with. Taking the best responsibility for families and work, in whatever way you can, is more important than being perfect. 4. Who my father was, I cannot be, at least not by myself. That's a task for all of us standing here and some of you listening to the sound of my voice. He believed that everyone was unique, and it's that differentness that made us all special. In his own eulogy to the late Jacob Olanya, he wrote, and now we're going to read it to him. He has left a gap in our lives in many positions. The challenge for all alive, which is all of us, the challenge for all alive is to fill that gap in a small or big way. Fill his gap not as him, but as you in your own way. Let us do our best to add to his foundation. Let us add to his ideals. Let us improve where he left. Let us achieve his vision to which he devoted his life. Let us make the best of what ELLY TUMWINE stood for. 5. 2 stories, different endings. One famous story that he has told was one of his mother, and how before she got operated, she said a prayer. She whispered a prayer. And the prayer was this: God, if it is your intention that my work is done, then take me. But if you think I still have purpose in this world, then allow me to live to do it. I assume he said the prayer the same way. He fought the good fight, he finished the race, he kept the faith. Second story, the one of his father, just like the one I'm telling of my father. The day he was admitted to university in Makerere, 2 things happened. 1, the boom, as it was called that time, was scrapped off, or the facilitation that you'd get from government for university. But the real kicker, the real hard one, was the day he got his acceptance letter to Makerere, was the day he got another letter that his father had died. Famous in the Tumwine household is what he said next: I will manage. Now, history has repeated itself, but differently this time. I was there, and I saw it happen. And this is what I told him: we will manage. will manage. We saw what it meant for him to do it alone. I think that was the essence of why he did what he did for us. That he would never have to answer the same, that we would never have to say, I will manage. But he built in us the we will manage. Daddy told, we were not just father and son, we were friends. Real friends. One time we failed to find accommodation. I remember it was in Yantonde, one of those late night trips from the farm. And we found only one place open with one bed. And we shared it. And what will never leave my mind or heart is instead of sleeping, we start a conversation. We're all in vests and boxers, and don't think of the image, just focus on the story. So then we start to look at photos of the cows we had taken from the farm. And then the stories just kept going. That day, I experienced the love that I've only dreamt of, that I've only wished for, that I've always worked for. That day, I saw my father be my friend. It's that look. It's that look that I later learned to read. The look that you'd give me and you'd know what's happening. The last words he was able to say, I had gone into the room. He was seated, looking up, and in the ELLY TUMWINE fashion, we started talking about things like it was a regular day at the farm. Did we do this? We have to do this, we have to do this. Go and do this. And I looked at him and said, does he see where he is? Does he know what's happening? And him, it wasn't about what's happening, it's what you're going to do after. That's the training he always prepared us for. And that's the training that I think will carry us through. It is not what happens to you, it is how you respond to it. It is how you respond to it. When I left, as I was leaving, I told him, Daddy, I love you. He said, I love you too. When I came back with Mommy, he was trying to catch his breath, but was still able to talk. And then he asked for his phone. And Mommy said, but you're not strong enough. Why don't you tell him what you want to tell him? He said, no, give me my phone. And I saw him put in his password. And I knew that he knew that things might go worse. And I remember Mommy, we both said, Daddy, we can do it for you. He said, Data. And we said, this man is still in there. And he put in, then paused. And I saw him struggle. I saw his face pause. And I looked at him and took it away. I later knew for what that was. Daddy had a tablet where he writes his thoughts, his ideas, his dreams. found and acquired knowledge, and how do you want to share it with the world? That's where he was opening for me. I told Mommy, I said, you know, you told me this, but I'm figuring out what.
Married, you will have ninza kubanza ndecho ineka. Daddy ogu yatunga mami. Mami turiho kandi tukuze. Daddy akaja ngote ishukatazmura. Turiho. So, miracle baby, what do I mean? Mawe kuyashweirwe yazara keshchikamwe kati. This is the only day I'll say this openly. It's not embarrassing. I was born through artificial insemination. But I can't shoot ya yankuza from Kololo na mami bakanchuta na enke where are you, my twin? Very twachuka hamwe from Kololo. Mami na daddy ogunyonka ngambira mami, me I know two mummies, my mom and you. Na kurani nyeta mari mdaddy. Imagine. And I couldn't say my name Kaine Babazi. I used to say Kwene and he used to say Kaine. I would say Kwene. Atumrecheka bakazinaje. Neje shahand Kwene. Not Kaine. Daddy okantetsa tinyenyenka. Dad no muntu ori kureba ekirungi omu kibi. He's ever optimistic. He wasn't a pessimistic person. Looking at the brighter side of each and everything, each and everybody. He was unique. I see. Nizo banaenda kwenda kureba. But guess what? Every time I'm trying to feel sad, I remember I have to make him proud. Those things he has installed in each and all of us should never fade away. You know? If you know you love Daddy and you're sitting here in this audience, I'm sorry. Yes. Make Daddy proud. If you're a niece, a son, a daughter. Mami ninkunda kande bigambo byanje neiwe. Daddy atakabeire kubi. Daddy musibwire je. He visited my shop. He has played with my kids, his grandchildren. Mami akazaro omwe konka yaza kumugambire je shaha tureba Frida omwana wawe ainebana. I'm proud. I'm blessed. Born alone, but now guess how happy he is where Dad did hanga kwechumra chirunja abo kubebi okozire. It's a heart of gold. Daud Sure. Thank you for telling me not to break. First get time to cry. I got it. That's why I'm strong right now. That did hang up hechumro chirunji. Ndiaguma ninkukunda. Okagumaho wa playing both roles waba dad waba mami. One shoots ya, one koraza birthday zona. Oh. Ninkukunda ho kan no chimani. Ninchimani mami akaje ngo abafu barebe. Good night. Everybody, thanks for coming.